In the ancient Near East, rainfall was ultimate geopolitical power. A wet season built empires, but when the earth cracks, civilizations vanish. Isaac's household functioned as a massive, mobile corporation. This operation moved with thousands of head of livestock and hundreds of employees, a sprawling economic engine that required constant management. That corporate structure relied on one non-negotiable input: an uninterrupted daily supply of water. For a herd this size, a day without access to a well was an existential threat. This meant that in the desert, the person who controlled the well held a total veto over the survival and independence of every mobile corporation in the region. Genesis 26 begins with a total environmental collapse. Famine strikes Canaan, turning grazing lands desolate and pushing Isaac's massive operation to the brink of liquidation. Standard protocol for nomads in a drought was to head for Egypt. While the rest of the region withered, Egypt's agriculture relied on the Nile, making it the only stable economy in the ancient world. But God issues a command that breaks with every survival instinct of the era. Isaac is told to avoid Egypt and is instead redirected into Gerar, a territory controlled by the Philistines. Isaac suddenly becomes a wealthy but vulnerable asylum seeker. To keep his corporation alive, he gambles his entire net worth on a foreign kingdom's mercy. To survive in Gerar, Isaac adapts. He pivots from nomadic herding to a hybrid model, settling and planting crops alongside his flocks. The result was an anomaly in ancient records. While the rest of the region struggled to grow anything, Isaac saw a 100-fold return on his harvest in a single year. That sudden explosion of wealth triggered immediate hostility. The local Philistine population watched an outsider accumulate more resources in a famine than they had in years of plenty. This created a dangerous state of economic asymmetry. The social tension escalated as the local, established citizenry found themselves being outproduced by an immigrant herder. Isaac's success turned him into a target. In the eyes of the Philistine leadership, his growing corporation was no longer a local nuisance, it was a national security threat. King Abimelech eventually moved to neutralize that threat. He formally ordered Isaac to leave the territory, declaring that the patriarch's operation had grown too powerful to be tolerated. To ensure Isaac left, locals weaponized the environment. They systematically destroyed the wells Abraham had dug, filling them with dirt. In the desert, this is an economic death sentence, a way to slaughter a rival's livestock without engaging in physical battle. Isaac retreated into the Gerar Valley, beginning a desperate search for water. It was a methodical game of resource chicken. Every time Isaac's servants found a source, the Philistines moved to seize it. He named the first well Esek, for the contention it caused, and the second Sitnah, meaning enmity. These names reflect the precarious legal reality for a nomad trying to claim water rights in hostile territory. Isaac wasn't facing a traditional army. He was enduring a methodical campaign of economic warfare designed to starve his corporation into non-existence. Isaac finally broke the cycle of conflict by retreating far enough into the wilderness to find an uncontested source. He named this well Rehoboth, signaling that he finally had the space to grow. But he didn't stop there. Isaac pushed further south to Beersheba, a site with deep ancestral ties, to firmly anchor his operation. At Beersheba, he took 3 decisive actions. He built an altar, he pitched his tent, and dug a permanent well. In the ancient Near East, this combination functioned as a formal declaration of ownership. By establishing a site of worship, a central residence, and a water source, Isaac was claiming permanent sovereignty over the region. By securing an independent water source, Isaac sheds the label of displaced refugee. He emerges instead as a permanent geopolitical actor with an unshakable footprint in the land. This shift in power forced King Abimelech and his army commander to change their strategy. They left their own kingdom and traveled into the desert to meet Isaac. They sought a meeting because they recognized a new reality. A nomadic leader who can outlast economic warfare and strike his own water is now a rival sovereign power. They signed a peace treaty at Beersheba, a formal acknowledgement of Isaac's power and a total surrender of Philistine hostility, leaving Isaac's household to stand securely in their own territory. In this narrative, relocation was the strategic crucible required to take a vulnerable, displaced household and transform it into the unshakable foundation of a nation.